Yes. Hello, baby. Manje if they're greeting you, how are you going to respond? Stop, manje bapemukama. Manje bapemukama. Papa, mute. Masuk message very message.
Okay, here we go. So we have a live stream at the moment to YouTube as well. I've put the post up. Additionally, in the YouTube Live. So I want to welcome people as they're checking in, both on YouTube Live. There we go. Still getting used to the tech here. That allows us to do this. Excellent. We are about 5 minutes from beginning our webinar. We will be making a start at that time. I want to welcome everybody who's starting to check in, whether it be on YouTube Live today or directly on our Zoom link. For those of you who are not part yet of our WhatsApp, for those of you who are not yet on our WhatsApp group, all the details are posted to our WhatsApp group, and we encourage you to be a part of that WhatsApp group as you're able to. Emmanuel Monsonge is our person on the ground there. If you have any questions, feel free to contact him at GPCMK. He will help you sort of connect into what we're doing as we start with 2 tiers of leadership, 2 tiers of business leaders there in Zambia, people starting out in business, and then also people who have a business and are seeking to grow their business. So we're excited that today Mark Hughes has made himself available to do some further training just to keep ourselves connected to a flow of input as we make a start. Jamie, we have, of course, our internship starting later in the month.
Yes, we are excited about the internship officially starting on the 27th, which will be a Wednesday, just like these trainings at the same time. And we're also planning to have, I believe Emmanuel started to send a list to those who are on WhatsApp about the interviews that are happening starting tomorrow. So I don't know if any of you are on that list, but if you are identified for the interview, we look forward to interviewing with you.
Yeah, so we have some people who are interviewing. Some of you, Mark, that you actually run a small business at the moment. It's our desire just to press in a little more to what kind of small business you're running. So for people who've indicated that, we've done a second follow-up interview that we're doing over coming weeks and starting tomorrow. And so that's another exciting thing that we have happening. And we will be continuing to have ongoing connect as we seek to have a greater and greater idea of what it is that you are doing there in Zambia. We, of course, will be getting started with this this particular talk in just a few minutes. Brother Mark Hughes has graciously agreed to speak again today, just to continue the input. I can see so many of you hopping in on. Hello, Mercy. Hello, Natasha. Hello, Daniel. Great to see Abraham, Pastor Abraham on there. Wonderful. So many of you jumping on. Down the bottom today, you will also see a Q&A box. If you have questions throughout what is going on, please feel free to fill that in. If you have a question, there's a Q&A tab down the bottom for those of you who are on the Zoom call. You can ask questions. For those of you who are also just wanting to chat amongst yourselves or direct message, there's a chat box down the bottom. We ask, just our only request is that you keep it on topic. Other than that, we're really excited for that. And welcome Ethel. Great to have Ethel on today as well. I see people just starting to populate the group. Still a minute or two out from our beginning. As Jamie was just saying, later in the month, the 27th is our official start of internship. But we will actually be posting this on the 17th, I believe. We'll be posting who's actually part of our internship going forward. So that's the date, where our posting date. And then just another date to note is, again, next Wednesday, Mark has graciously agreed to do part 2 in terms of just our warm-up lectures, our warm-up, get everyone used to the technology. People are struggling with the technology. You'll be able to identify it at this moment, feedback to us, Pastor Seth or Jamie or Mark. We're having trouble connecting with the tech. If there's things we can improve, it's sort of important to us in the 2 weeks leading in the start of internship on the 27th that you guys have as greater idea as possible of how to connect in. If your network, if it is not working well with this medium, it sort of allows us to try and brainstorm with you so that you can have connection. And again, if it just takes up too many bundles for you, this degree of sort of, or the bandwidth is just not working, we'll get an idea in these 2 lectures, sort of how it's working for you, that being able to connect into the tech. That's, I think, the idea of these lectures. And I'm so glad for those of you who've been able to join us already. You can see names. Yes, good to see John again on there, Daniel, Mercy, Natasha. I see him. Pastor Emmanuel is on. Great to have Pastor Apostle Emmanuel Salomba. I see him on. It's great to see people jumping on this call. And again, for those of you who are actually checking in through our YouTube live link, it's really glad for those of you who are on via that means as well. Not everyone has the ability to Zoom. Some people with 3G phones, or some people who are just, it's preclusive. They're not familiar with Zoom, will be opting to check in on the YouTube link. I'm actually going to put the YouTube link down the bottom here in the chat, just so everybody, if you want to share that with someone who you know is trying to get in, I've just put that YouTube link in there for you to be able to head that over to friends or people that you know are trying to push in but don't necessarily have the ability to get in on Zoom. So we have just in the chat box at the bottom, I've put the link. Feel free to share that to people that you would like, that you know need to be a part of this as Mark gets started. We'll get started in about 3 minutes and go from there. We'll give everyone 5 minutes to get on, and then we're going to make a start today. Jamie, I'm excited for the interviews that we have coming up. As we were just saying a couple of minutes ago, we start interviews tomorrow.
Yes, sir. I'm excited about that as well. I'm excited about today, just the fact that we're getting the ball back rolling after shortly leaving. And I'm excited to see all that are coming on the call and the continued, Facebook messages and WhatsApp messages that people are really hungering and thirsting after the knowledge. So I am really excited to continue the relationship we've built.
And I just want to commend everyone that's done this. You know, you've got to push past a lot to get into spaces like this. You've got to push past the technology barrier, the distance barrier. You've just got to push through a lot of things. And I just want to commend everyone who's taken the effort to really try and get on this call. You know, of the people that were there, a lot of people would have left without even putting an application in, because they would have felt, oh, what chance have I got? But the truth is, you have to take a chance in business. You have to step up to the plate. And you guys have done that. Then additionally, to really position yourself well by pressing into these environments, we just want to commend you all. It's really exceptional. And we are so excited at the businesses that are in you, as we've been talking to you over recent weeks. And again, with the interviews, we're excited to hear what is in your heart to do in business. We're excited to hear your ideas, and to see how we can best serve and best empower you know, what is in you to do. So yeah, that's sort of upcoming, and we will make a start. So I think we're about there now, and I'm in just a minute or two about to hand over to Mark Hughes, who has generously made himself available today to come and lecture, and to do another download of equipping that I hope just continues to stir us in the area of business. So just a couple of key dates again, for those. I'll do a final run through of the dates for people who are jumping on. We do have a series of interviews happening over this week for people who have indicated on their applications that they currently run a business. It's our desire to just dial in a little bit more to sort of find out what business you're running, and so that we can again position you well within our program. And so for those of you who indicated that you run a business, there is a follow-up interview. For those of you who are saying, no, I'm just starting out, I don't yet have a business, there is no need for an interview. We already have your information, and we're going to start. Obviously, we have a tier 1 for people starting out and a tier 2 for those of you who have businesses, and we're engaging both. And from that, choosing an internship from people from tier 1 and tier 2 to start a movement forward. This 17th, which is this Sunday, 17th of September, we are posting who has been accepted into internship. Then a few days later is part 2, where Mark is going to do one more download, and for many, a practice run of experiencing what it is to be a part of this call and this setup, as we dial the technology in, as we figure out, is it something that is working for you? Our desire is to have a successful platform that's able to bridge the gap. And then finally, on the 27th of September, we start internship, which will be our first official night, Wednesday night. Each of them are 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. So that is our current time that we're trying to do that. And for anyone that you either work on a Wednesday, or Wednesdays is just not something you can be a part of, we are then going to take these talks, because we are recording them, and we're going to stick them on our activatezambia.com website. So if you miss one, if perchance you miss one, we will then have it for you to be able to follow up on. Having said that, if you're missing these lectures, that's going to be, that I encourage you to be a part of them live. It will give you a better ability to ask questions and be a part of what we have moving forward. Okay, then. So without any further delay, I'm going to hand over to Jamie as she introduces Mark, and we'll go from there.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you again for taking time out of your day to spend with us. Mr. Mark Hughes, our business guru, has been graciously thought about us to offer his time and commitment to helping see our businesses grow, and to give us as much knowledge as he has to help us be successful in business. So with that being said, we want to graciously thank Mark and welcome Mark to the stage.
Thank you very much, everybody. It would be great if we get some time a for our technology to let us interact. It's at some point I want to see some faces out there. So from where I'm sitting, all I can see is Seth and Jamie. So not that there's anything wrong with that, but we just to kind of reiterate on the tiers that we have is there are, I think we were just so touched by the engagement and the enthusiasm of people in Zambia that we want to find a way to engage everybody that is interested. So I don't think there is a desire to exclude anybody. We want to provide ongoing training that includes everybody that is interested. So that's why we're working and kind of changing what we're doing to make these programs on YouTube and make them available to everybody. So also, I wanted to just do a little bit of housekeeping, if you will, to make sure that we have been. I know Seth and Jamie and I have been accepting people's friends requests on Facebook, and we are happy to do so. I love including. And I will start posting stuff on Facebook again for business. But there is a kind of an American the way that we use Facebook is that it is generally that you would only friend people you know. Okay, some people try to use it as a business tool to just friend everybody they can find. But in general, we use Facebook to friend people we know. So I would encourage you to continue to friend those that went on the trip, but I would discourage you from just clicking to friend all of their friends. So it would be not just keep friending everybody, because there's a lot of scams that happen and people are hesitant to accept friends. So secondly is I wanted to make sure that we cleared up a
Mark, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but everyone, can you please, if you have capacity, please, can you put your phones on mute?
Thank you. Also, if we have there was some, I think some misunderstanding on the part of a few people, and I want to make sure it was clear that my objective, and I think our goal, was to make sure that we teach people how to start a business and how to get a business plan started, how to start to attract investors and funding. We are, as a group, are just not the people that in general would fund your business or would have the ability to invest in a bunch of businesses, but we will certainly help you find those people by teaching you how to. And then Jamie is working on people that are ready for coaching to start aligning them to coaches. So what we're going to talk about today mostly is what's the next step, and then how do you become coachable? Okay, so Jamie is working really hard to find coaches. Now, I want to clarify that in the United States, there is a career of coaching. People get paid to coach entrepreneurs. And as an entrepreneur and as a new business person, or as even just somebody in life, a lot of people pay for a coach. They would pay for a coach to help them in marriage. They would pay for a coach to help them in their career, in their education. They would pay for coaches to help them get through college or their master's degree. there's a lot of coaches for very specific things, and they get paid. Okay. What we are out looking for are people that are willing to donate their time to coach people in Zambia. And that is something that we're starting to look at for other parts of the world. There are people that need coaching that just don't have the money to pay for it, and that are startup businesses, and there are plenty of generous people that are willing to help. But those people are not, for the most part, are not going to be professional coaches. They are business people that want to help you. So I want to make sure that you are prepared to know how to get the most of them, because they're volunteering their time, how to make the time effective, and what you can expect and not expect from them. So with that, a coach is not a coach is not somebody that is going to fund your business. Okay. A coach cannot tell you what to do. Okay. They cannot make all the decisions for you. The business coach is is just a business. Hang on. Go. So they are just a business owner who is trying to help you get started. So if that makes sense, then just make sure that they are a business coach is part, best way to describe them is they are part guide, they are part cheerleader, and they are part warden. Okay. They will correct you. But keep in mind that a coach is like a parent. Okay. Every business is different. I've raised 4 children, and the experience of raising 4 children was completely different for every child. The way they were motivated was different. The way that they could be corrected was different. The way that they were, how they reacted to discipline was different. So I had to change up my skills and how I parented for all 4 children. That is exactly true and I've done a lot of coaching, and that is true for businesses. So just because they have run a business that is maybe exactly like yours, your business is going to operate differently. Your customers are different. You as an entrepreneur are different. The circumstances of your marketplace are different. So there is no formula that says this is how you run a business that makes shirts. This is how you run a business that makes jewelry. This is how you run a business that makes food. Because you can go to 100 different restaurants and you will find the food to be different, the service to be different. And that is part of what makes your business successful. So a coach cannot come in and say, just do this, and do this, and you will be successful. What the coach is going to do is help you to figure out what will make your business successful. But when it comes right down to it, that is going to be you. So most of what they're going to do is help you to be a better you. They cannot solve all of your problems. Just can't happen. They cannot be there to say in every circumstance, this is what you should do. They are there to help you make good decisions, and to help and to be a place for you to go to find out if you should, when you come across a Y in the road and you're deciding, should I go left or should I go right? They are there to help you evaluate all of the options and help you to make a good decision. They are not there to make the decision for you. And I want to make that clear. A coach cannot do that. This is your business, and the success of this business is 100% on you. Okay? Whether you can find funding or not is also going to be completely dependent on you. Nobody else can do that. So this starts with you, and this business ends with you. There are lots of people who can help you, but nobody can and nobody will do it for you. Just does not happen like that. It doesn't happen in Kapiri Mapashi. It doesn't happen in Zambia. It doesn't happen in Africa. It doesn't happen in America. If you want to grow a business, you're going to have to just start with the basics and work harder than anybody else every single day. And we talked about that when we were there. And I just want to make sure that that's clear, that the coaches are here to help you figure out how you can be successful. They won't make you successful. So lastly is I just also want to go through the processes, and Jamie, feel free to jump in here. I just want to make sure that we have clarified the processes. So first is that everybody will be included in weekly training. We had talked when we were there that we would help train a group of people. I think, like I said, we're going to train everybody. I think everybody deserves that, and we are working to change the technology. I think originally we were thinking we could get a group of people in a room and talk to them through Zoom with one camera, but Seth is working really hard to get this technology out where we can communicate with everybody on a weekly basis. So everybody will learn the same thing. We're going to talk to everybody. I think the only difference is that through this interview process, we're trying to figure out who is ready for a coach now. If you don't already have a business where you need help making decisions and where do you go next, you're not ready for a coach. That doesn't mean you're not ready to start a business. It doesn't mean that you're in any way second class to us. It just means that you're not there yet. And so then through our training classes, we're going to help you get there. Okay. So, and then we are going to help Emmanuel to know how to help you better. So we're going to do a lot of coaching with him because he's on the ground there to help you get started. So those are the steps. Jamie is working hard to find coaches, and she will be aligning coaches that are in a similar business and in a good position to be able to help you. Okay. But when that person is identified and connected with you, your job is going to be to help them know how to help you. So you've got to ask a lot of questions. You need to be prepared to explain your business. We talked a lot about business planning. You cannot have a coach if you don't have a plan, because your coach has to help you implement your plan. If you don't have a plan, there's nothing for your coach to do. So if you have a business and you don't have a plan, you need to get working on your plan now and be ready for that coach. So you need to be writing up your business plan, and especially your overview piece of we talked about of what is your business, how are you going to implement it, who's your customer, and what makes you special. we talked a lot about why is somebody going to buy from you, okay? And if you don't know why they will pick you to buy from, then chances are they don't know why they're going to pick you either. So that is your job. Your job is to identify what makes your business special. Why will somebody pick you? And then you can go to the coach and say, how do I communicate that to other people? How do I make people understand that? How do I write my plan better? That type of thing. Okay. But, and the interview process is a process to help Jamie know who's ready for that and who's not. And if you're ready for that, then she is trying to find coaches. I know she's already got a bunch of people that have she's spoken with, but she's going to put together and match somebody from a similar business or similar experience to your kind of business. That's one of the reasons that in this interview, we're asking, what kind of business do you have? What are you doing? Who's your customer? Who, what's your product? And what is your strategy to sell that? And that is the, that is the process we're going through. So the next step, that if you're not already doing that, like I said, you need to be working on your business plan. That is the most important thing of all right now, is working on a plan. You cannot have a business without a plan. It just does not work. And then when Jamie is she's going to pick out those people that are ready for a coach, and then get started with it. Then once you are ready for that, hopefully a coach will be, you'll be assigned to a coach. That coach will start working with you one-on-one and trying to figure out exactly how they can help you. Your job is to make sure they know how to help you. So that means you need to be prepared to tell them about your business. You need to be prepared to tell them exactly what your plan is and your strategy, and share with them your business plan. You also need to show up to that meeting extremely humble and ready to learn. One of the hardest things about being a coach is trying to coach people that already know the answer. So we need to be really careful that when we're getting a coach, we're asking lots of questions, but we're doing lots and lots of listening. Jamie is finding people with experience that have done it and been successful. And they have a lot that they can teach you, but we have to be good students. And sometimes that's hard because entrepreneurs tend to be those types of people that prefer to talk, not to listen. And I'm guilty of that. So I am sometimes hard to coach. I know that. But I have had to work on that skill in my life. And I have used a lot of coaches. I've learned a lot from coaches. And but that is something that I personally have to focus myself and go, okay, you cannot learn until you make yourself a student. So so make sure that you become a student. Be humble, listen, and come into each coaching session with lots of questions. Okay, write your questions down. Use the time as wisely as possible, so that we are always ready to go when we get a class. Before I move to my next subject, Jamie, would you can you help us by just what are we doing during the interviews? How are those going to, what are the questions we're asking, and what should they be prepared for that?
We haven't finalized the list yet, but Pastor Seth and I had talked briefly about it. We want to find out what their business is. We want to find out how long they've been in business. We really want to find out if they've got a business plan, and just kind of find out their needs as a business owner.
Okay. Yeah. So I just
If we understand what a person's business is, then we know how to tailor the training. If we have, like, a lot of people, particularly in the agricultural sector or in a particular sector, perhaps hospitality or whatever the different sectors are, it really helps us in terms of our finding of mentors as well. And so for us to be able to have a bit more of an idea of what the businesses are that people are running, we would also ask, what is your biggest challenge in business? What do you consider your biggest success in business is? So we're going to ask questions relating to your business, and we're going to ask some questions related to the internship, your ability. What's your biggest challenge to connecting into what we are doing on Wednesday nights? What's your biggest fear? What's your biggest concern? What's your biggest hope? Out of the internship. And again, it helps us in our crafting. We're learning as we go as well. We've never trained, up to 100 people or whatever the number is that we finally post on Sunday. We've never done this before ourselves. We're learning as we go, and our desire is to serve, and that's a great platform for us becoming excellent at serving you, excellent at equipping you, and that's our heart. So yeah, the interviews help inform us. Besides this, there may be a time after we've conducted those interviews that we additionally, do additional interviews for people that don't yet run a business. And that way we can also find out what your needs are as well for tier 1 and for tier 2. Our desire is to target it well to bring you on the journey of success.
And I just wanted to add, Pastor, that the goal is, in an ideal world, the goal would be those who start off in tier 1 eventually move on to tier 2, and then those in tier 2 graduate the program. So we just want to be clear that we don't, whatever tier 2 is getting, tier 1 also will have access and a resource to that as well.
Excellent. Thank you. We are like Jamie and Seth just said, our goal is to get people to a place where they are not only started a business, but that they are operating as a successful business. Now, a successful business could easily be a micro business with just one person who's making something and selling it. That is a successful business. So, but you have to have a written plan, and we're going to spend a few minutes here talking again about the business plan and specifically what you should be doing. Next week is going to be very specific about business plan writing, and we're going to talk a lot about that, but we'll start on that. But just some of the things that you should be able to expect from a coach, okay, is what the coach can and can't do. Okay, like I said, they cannot run your business, but they can help you increase your sales and your revenue. Okay, the amount of stuff that you sell, because you should be coming to them with questions about how to grow your business. Okay, if you have a coach, it's because you already have a business. You already have something that is marketable. You already have you're already making something and you're already selling it. Okay. If that is not the case, or you already have a service and you're already providing it, the coach is to help you make that better. The coach is not there to help you get it started. That is what the training that we're doing is going to help you do. Okay. So in our ongoing weekly training and help from Emmanuel will help you get something kicked off, but the coaches are going to help you improve that. So they're going to help you increase your sales and your revenue. One of the other things they are going to do is help you to be a more effective leader. All businesses require a leader, and that is why we spent so much time talking about leadership skills. So one of the things that you can count on from your coach is helping you to be a more effective leader. The other thing is how to thrive in hard times. Okay. Your business is going to come across hard times. Every business does, especially in the beginning. And a coach will help you sometimes know how to make an adjustment. And sometimes your coach can do nothing more than just help you to hang on by your fingernails and go through the ride. Okay. Because it's hard. If having a business was easy, everybody would have one. It is not. And that is why only a small percentage of people run businesses, especially run them successfully. Most businesses will fail in the first year. That is because of people that don't thrive as soon as it gets hard. Those are the people that quit as soon as it gets hard. And that is one of the things that a coach will be there to help you through. And the other one is to help you find the right talent. I want to reiterate again, in your business plan, part of that structure is who is going to help you be successful. That is not necessarily, in fact, it rarely is your friends. It is, you need to decide what skills do you need to fill each of those roles, and write out exactly what those skills are, what the personality type is sometimes, what they need to be able to do, how hard they need to be able to work, when they need to be available. And you need to be able to put that on paper in your business plan. And then you need to find people that fit that, not write a job description based on somebody's skills. That is backwards. So you do not find a way to fit your friends into your business. I highly discourage that. You need to find out what your business needs are and see if any of your friends fit it. Sometimes that's okay, but find people that fit that. That is the critical part of that. So if you, hopefully you have part of your business plan at least started. You should be, anybody that wants to have a business should have right now at least 2 or 3 pages written on what kind of business do I want. Okay. Explain in writing what your business is going to be. So the things that you need to have in there is just describe in an overall fashion, what is my business? Maybe it's a service that you're going to provide. Maybe it is a product you're going to make. But you need to be able to write so that somebody who has no idea who you are, where you are, or anything about your product would understand it. Okay. Because that's, it frequently is going to be who's reading it. People who have no idea what that product is, or especially if it's something that's local. Secondly is who is going to buy your product. Okay? Who is it that you are counting on for your market? For if you are going to sell that in just Kapiri Mapashi, explain that and explain where you're going to go to sell it. Are you selling it at a stand alongside of the road? Are you selling that by selling it inside of other stores? Are you shipping your product to Lusaka and selling it there? Are you selling it? Are you growing something and selling it at a stand? What, what is your product and how are you selling it? What is the mechanism you're using to sell it? And who are you selling it to? Who is your typical customer? Who is your ideal customer? And then what is your strategy for finding more customers? Is your strategy to make your product attractive to more types of people? Or is your strategy to make sure more people that are that fit your typical customer are available to you? If you have a stand alongside the road, you are limited to the people that travel up and down that road. It's just logical. So can you make stands in more places? Is that how you're going to grow? Or are you going to sell more things from your stand so that people buy more things when they stop at your stand? Or are you going to sell things at, like I said, to multiple locations and make yourself more attractive? Those are all different strategies that I don't know what you're going to do. Those are things that you need to figure out, and hopefully you will learn how to get motivation and help from a coach to get better at it. But ultimately, that comes down to you figuring out what is your strategy and what are you wanting to do with your business. For example, if you are going to grow your business, if you are making things, and if you are making shirts, how do you sell more shirts? It could be that you're going to sell more shirts by selling shirts to other stores that are going to sell a shirt. It could be that you could be by making different shirts for different sizes of people for different occasions. It could be that you start selling your shirts all over Zambia. It could be that you start selling your shirts all over Africa or all over the world. You need to have a strategy and a plan. And then once you have your plan, you can start getting advice and help from coaches to how to implement your plan. But if you don't have a plan, there's not much people can do to help you. You can say, I have a plan that I want to do this, and a coach could help you to figure out how to improve on that plan and how to make that plan realistic. But nobody can help you until you have a plan and a strategy. So you need to write that out, and you should have the sections of your business plan that talk about what is your overall business strategy, and who are you marketing to, and start working on your executive summary so that you can send that to people and help to be able to get not only good coaching, but you could not get if you are at some point looking for investment, you are not even able to talk to people until you have a completed business plan. And also, that is, if you find yourself as that is something you do well, you may find that that could be your business. There is a huge need. I can tell you in Zambia, there is going to be a huge need for somebody to help other people write a business plan. Okay. And if that is your skill, I would encourage you to get with Emmanuel and start talking to him about that, because that is going to be in great need, I think, as people start getting these ideas together, is how to create a plan, how to put it in writing, and how to make it presentable to not only a coach, but in the future for different kinds of funding opportunities. And without that, it is just a hope. And hope is not a strategy. So hoping that this will happen and hoping that somebody will send you money is not a good strategy. And I have been waiting for it for 60 years and it has not happened. So it just is going to require you to have a written strategic plan that you follow. And once you've figured that out and you have started writing your plan and getting it documented, now people can start to help you. So I would just encourage you at this point that if you have that, to start sharing it with each other, to start helping each other develop a plan. You are not competing with each other. You are helping each other. We are a community where Christians help each other, where we start to learn from each other. And when one person is successful, it opens the door for other people to be successful. So I would start with that, is that I would strongly encourage there to be groups of people that get together, get around a table, and let's start working on business plans together, and then challenging each other and looking for ways to make this available. And then when you learn something, share it and help other people to be successful. So, and then I don't know, Seth, are there questions popping up that I'm not seeing?
We're going to give people a chance now to answer some questions in about 5 minutes, Mark. If you
Yeah, so
we'll give everyone the last 10 minutes of session maybe to ask questions. And so I think if you do have a question, I'm going to, there's a mechanism at the bottom, which is a raised hand. So you'll see on the bottom of your Zoom call, the ability to raise your hand. And we will seek to unmute you when you raise your hand, and we'll hit unmute, and then you can ask your question if you have a question here today for Mark that you'd like to ask, particularly with relation to coaching. Like, how can I sort of press into coaching? If you have questions around the coaching, if you have question around, obviously Mark has been talking about the establishment of a business plan that really sets you and helps you immediately in your coaching process. You don't want to be arriving flat-footed into a coaching situation where you have no business plan. The more time you spend on that business plan, the better equipped a coach will be to bring you on to walk with you on a journey. And so Mark has sort of been speaking to this today. So if you do have questions, again, feel free to raise your hand. I see a hand there. I'm going to give Mark a few minutes just to finish up, and then we'll go to those questions. You can keep that hand up. I see that hand, and others of you that have questions, feel free to raise those hands, and we will answer your questions as we get to them.
Perfect. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure. Usually in our sessions in Zambia, I was taking the last 10 minutes for questions. I just want to make sure that we could do that here because I can't see it on my end. So thank you. So lastly, I wanted to finish with a thought about coaching, and like we talked about how to be coachable is I want you to make sure that you are firmly grasped in your commitment to a business. Okay. So a business is not a hobby. A business is, I call it all encompassing. Okay. You have to be all in. And when you are looking at your, there is a difference and between being dedicated and being committed, right? So lots of employees are dedicated. They show up on time, they do their job, they go home. But being committed in a business is a whole nother level. Okay. And it means that sometimes you're working all night. Sometimes you are you will go weeks and weeks and weeks without a full night's sleep or without having a day off. And if you are not committed to that level, then you're probably not ready to be starting a business. If you want to be a micro business and just make stuff and sell it at a stand, you could do that. But if you want to grow your business to being bigger and to start growing outside of Zambia, just be prepared to spend a few years really, really committed. And along that line, I want to make sure that it's also clear that this is not something that happens in a few weeks. This is a long-term journey. Businesses take years to establish and grow. A few people stumble over something that just takes off, and that's all great, but it's very, very rare. So for most of us, it is just hard work for many, many years that makes a business work. So just settle yourself into a long journey. This is going to be a long, committed journey, and you're going to need coaches. You're going to have good times and bad times. Things will go well. You will make mistakes, and that's okay. You will get over it. You will learn. I made mistakes as a parent. My kids survived it, and it's okay. But it is going to be part of your journey to forgive yourself and to move forward, and to recognize that you're going to have failures and things are not always going to work the way you want them to. And a coach will help you through that and help you stay focused and help you to recognize where your next step should be. A coach will also challenge you and push you, okay? And they should. If you are growing at a comfortable pace, your coach will push you to grow at a slightly uncomfortable pace, okay? They will push you to make your product better. You should always be striving to be better than you were and better than your competitor. And your coach will help you do that. So if you are not prepared for the criticisms and the where your coach is going to sometimes critique you and tell you that you need to do something better, and you need to be able to accept the correction, and you need to be able to accept the ability to learn and to be challenged without getting overly frustrated. Right? So if that makes sense, just prepare yourselves in prayer, prepare yourself with your family, with your life, and just be prepared for putting the effort and the energy and what you need, what it's going to take to make this happen, and be able to put that on paper and be able to express that to somebody else so that you will be prepared for the coaching experience. And we are going to next week show examples of business plans, kind of some samples of what they look like, and samples of what should be in those first few sections, and start preparing you for that. So I encourage you this next week to start writing your plan, no matter how unprofessional it looks, start getting it on paper and out of your head so that it's something people can see. So with that, I think we are ready for some questions, Seth. I don't know if I'll be able to see them or if you will have to read.
I can see them. I have them all on the screen in front of me, so I'm happy to do that. And again, so my encouragement is that you would just tell Mark your name and then ask your question and go for it. And we're going to start with the person going by the screen, Infinites, Hawks 12, etc. and so on. So we're going to unmute you. Yeah, feel free to unmute yourself and then we'll go from there. There we go.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Go ahead. Just speak up a little bit, but we can hear you.
Yes, good evening.
Go ahead.
Are you getting me? Yes, I'm asking, like, in case just where you are, there are no, like, the environment is like low populated. What can you like do for you to start a business there? I mean, the where you are, example, like where I am, they are very low. It's a low populated area, and I want to start a business within this area. What can I do?
So, Mark, just the question was, as I understand it, he's asked, what is the, he's in a situation where there's low probability of success for business. It's harder there. It's more challenging. And as such, but he still has a desire to push past that and still start a business. He has faith for it. He wants to push past that. Any advice for him today?
I think that one of the things that we have to, we talked about before, that what we're looking at for starting a business is what we're good at, okay, what the world needs, what people will pay us for, right? So, and what, you know, what kind of things do you like? So it isn't just a matter, I think in business, we have to figure out, what is it that I like to do? What am I good at? Okay. Those two things are important, but we have to look at, what does the world need, or what does your community need? The most important part of starting a business is to look around you and see. It's probably one of the gifts that I have that really helps me, or that has benefited me, is that I look at things and I go, there's a business. Okay. Here's something somebody could do to make money. And what it comes from is, what do people need, right? Find what people around you need. And sometimes you have to go beyond your community to find that. So it could be, what does Zambia need? What does Africa need? And what do I have the skill to do that other people need? And that, again, is impossible for me to answer for you, because I'm not where you are. But that is where your mind needs to start going, is start looking around you and saying, for example, we know now there's going to be 100 people that we know of who are interested in starting a business. Well, that means that somebody's going to need somebody to help write business plans. Okay. We know that, for example, there are people all over Africa that don't have access to a computer. Network rooms where you can set up 3 or 4 computers and get them on the internet and charge somebody a small amount of money to get access to them all over Zambia will be a need in the future. There's just, start thinking about, how do we get from where we are to some of the technology that exists, and how can you start sharing it? I hope that helps.
Thank you, Mark. And thank you for that question. Excellent question. Also, I didn't quite catch your name. What's your name?
My name is Musonda.
Masonja. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Masonja. And if you have another, go ahead.
Yeah, like I heard like that you should know yourself, and you should know what you are good in it. If you are good in something, you have something which you can do better. And if what the world needs now, like my concern is that I'm a piano player. Yeah, I do play piano. Somehow they hire me somehow. Now the income is just low. So for me, to start a business which is like that, I can need help and the advice. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and again, Mark's advice around that is not only do you have the skill and what you're good at, you also need to know what the market demand is in the place that you are situated. And if the immediate marketing of your situation does not provide adequate income, you need to push past the local market into a wider market where your skills can be joined to people's need. You have to have a market that allows your skills to actually get you paid. And so that's another reason why the utilization of technology that allows you to push past the local market is so necessary. And again, a big part of the equation here at Activate Zambia, because you're right, if you're a piano player and the demand or the capacity for people to pay or people to access, the skill that you have in a way that is financed and pays for you, but if the opportunity is so limited in your local, then you need technologies that can widen your market or make it, And again, this is the advantage of a coach. This is what a coach can talk you through. They can brainstorm you through these kinds of questions and help you with an additional perspective. So as you're trying to work through these problems, you're not alone. We're going to go to the next question now. We're going to go to, I think it's the screen name Moffat. I'm just unmuting you, Moffat. Please introduce us, give us your name, and ask your question of Mark.
Hello, this is Christine. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. My question is in line with what Mark said concerning the coaching. As we all having different business plans, and we are found in different business sectors that we are doing here back in Zambia. Well, my question is, are you going to specify different types of coaches when it comes to tutoring us or coaching us or giving us directions in how to go about it? Like personally, myself, I'm into agriculture. And in this agriculture, I do cultivate peanut, but not really on the large scale. It is on the other side. Yeah, so I'm a subsistence farmer, but I really want to grow further than that to do a commercial farming. Then I do also produce end products, like finished products at the end of the day that I supply to retail shops. But my intention and my vision is to supply beyond just Zambia. And I also supply to other provinces, but in the retail shops, not really like on the bigger chunk or maybe bulky, let's say commercial shops or anything. So my question is in line with that. Are you going to bring out coaches who will be specifically for maybe me who's doing agriculture and how I have to go on the next level? Thank you.
So Mark, the question is, she's described her situation, which I think you would have picked up. And the question just for everyone else on the call is, how will coaching assist someone using her situation as an illustration? How can coaching assist her as she seeks to develop her product and break into new markets?
Jamie, you want to tackle that?
I'm happy to also, Jamie. If,
Yeah,
once you're
I
done.
can. I wanted to get Jamie.
Go ahead, Jamie. Yeah.
Well, ideally, the goal is that we would be able to get a coach that is has a background in agriculture, and another part that we didn't that wasn't necessarily spoken about was that we were going to get people from Zambia to also train our coaches, so they are aware of what the market is like in Zambia, as well as help understand the different aspects and challenges of each market in Zambia. Because our coaches most likely will only have the background of working in America. So I want that to be said. We want to make sure we understand your market, we understand your culture and your needs, and making sure the coaches do as well. With that being said, ideally, we will want a coach that has worked in agriculture. At the worst case scenario, we will get you a business coach that can do research and may have just has a business. They may not be in agriculture, but we want to make sure that you are being coached by someone who understands the market and someone who can help connect you to resources that will help you break through the markets that you're interested in. Pastor, you want to add on to that?
Yeah, I'd just say, Christine, and thank you for your question. It's a great question. I think if through the lens of a coach, there are many things that coaches won't understand about Zambia. So as Jamie has mentioned, we actually have a training session for our coaches from Zambian business owners to explain how to join our knowledge to your context. And then additionally, in terms of people who need very specific knowledge around agriculture, again, I think our coaches would resource investigate through the relationships we have there in Zambia and through agricultural connections to find good advice. And I think to connect you to good people. The coach's role is not to have all the answers. The coach's role is to help you resource answers. So if it's agricultural questions that you have and it's agricultural answers that you need, then our coaches will help you access the answers that you need. They won't have all the answers. They will help you resource the answers, and they will utilize their influence to do so. Go ahead, Mark.
No, I think it's perfect. And I think it's important to remember that the coach's job is to help you be a better you, okay? It isn't to solve your business problems. It's to help you know how to make better decisions for your business. And so they are going to feed into you and help you to sometimes it's just a matter of helping you to get your mind focused in the right direction, and you are already smart enough and capable of solving this. Sometimes we just need help being focused, and that's what coaches are good at. Okay, you want to hit one more question here? Or have we...
Yeah, I have one more. We'll finish with one more question, and we're just going to let Natasha answer. I'm going to unmute Natasha, and then we'll call it good for this session. Natasha, go ahead and unmute and then ask your question. Or at least it's Natasha Chipingu, I think is the screen name. If it's not Natasha, then go ahead and introduce yourself. Okay, I don't think we're having any luck getting... there we go. Go ahead.
Good evening, good morning. My question is, what can I do to make my business to be successful?
Yes.
I think the answer to that is, there's so many variables about what your business is, what you want to sell, but the best answer I can give right now is to have a good plan and have your good plan written down on paper that other people can read, okay? Because whatever that business is, people can't help you until you have the ability to communicate your business plan and strategy on paper that they can read. And then that opens up so many resources and so much help that will be available to you to help you make your business successful. So I would say that no matter what your business is, that's where it starts. And you should be focusing a lot of energy on getting your business written out on paper for other people to understand and to be able to tell where you are and where you're going on paper in your story. I hope that helps.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you, Mark. That was really cool. Mark, we are out of time on this particular session. There are a few more questions that I can see hands starting to go up. We might just call it good there. If you have additional questions for Mark, you are welcome to. We will open the chat line on the WhatsApp group, so you can ask a few questions there, and Mark can get back to you at a later time. Again, if you're not yet part of the WhatsApp group, then I encourage you reach out to Emmanuel Monsonge, and he will help you connect into that. Additionally, I'm happy to put an invite. Just reach out and we will get an invite to you so you can be part of the WhatsApp group that's currently up and running. And if you have questions, we'll ask Mark. Mark, I want to thank you so much for being so willing to give us of your time today. Thank you for helping us on the subject of excellence in business coaching, how to be coached well. And we appreciate all of that. And again, next week, as you are sharing more around specifics of how to create that business plan in anticipation of coaching. Thank you for sharing today.
Thank you. It's always, I love this crowd, and we are going to have a lot of fun.
I'd like to thank you all for being here and close on a couple of notes. I would like to just suggest, just an idea I'm throwing out there, that you guys can maybe pair up or team up and have accountability partners where you guys can support each other and remind each other of appointments and ongoing trainings. If one misses, you'll be willing to share your notes with the others. Also, have your Mark talked about this in person and training, but also have your story of your why you're in business, why you're doing this known, and be thinking about it so you can write that down and be able to share that when you're coached, when you're paired. And also, lastly, but most importantly, is to be in prayer for yourself and for your business and for others. What I've noticed God make the biggest breakthroughs in my life is when I am in prayer for others. So I just want you to be encouraged, also to be in your word, asking God specific questions and allowing him to guide you to his word about what he wants to do through your business.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We appreciate you being on today. Thank you, Mark. And obviously, we will speak again next week, same time, via the same mediums. And stay tuned for more details on the WhatsApp group.